Hi students, welcome back to Algebra 1 Day 4. Today we're going to evaluate algebraic expressions. Let's get started. With question 1 here, we need to write each phrase as an algebraic expression. So, in question 1, I see that I have 5 less than 4 times of number x. And for me, the trick that helps is to try to draw parentheses around the sentence. So it says 5 less than what? 4 times of the number x. So let's first write 4 times of the number x. That's going to be 4x, right? And I want 5 less than this. So minus 5. There we go. Next, I want to figure out what is 3 times the sum of 7 and a number y. So what are we trying to find? 3 times of the sum of 7 and a number y. Okay, so let's first write down the sum of 7 and the number y. So it's 7 plus y. Since we're looking for a sum, I'm going to add. Now, since I want 3 times of this entire thing, I'm going to put parentheses around it and write a 3. Okay then, now I'm going to move on to question 2. I'm going to write my solution here. I have to simplify this entire expression here. So let's give it a try. First, we need to remove the parentheses. So for the first bracket, it's easy enough. I just rewrite everything as it is. 3a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. Now for the next part, you'll notice I'm subtracting, and in parentheses, 2a squared minus ab plus 2b squared. Okay, now since I want to remove the parentheses and it has a subtraction sign ahead of it, I'll need to be careful because every single sign of the terms in there, in the parentheses, have to be flipped. So it's going to be minus 2a squared it's going to be plus ab and it's going to be minus 2b squared. Okay, next I have to combine the like terms, and I find what helps is underlying, drawing boxes, and circling the corresponding like terms. Now, since I have access to a lot of colors, I'll just use different colored underlines instead. So here, I notice that 3a squared and minus 2a squared are like terms. I have them underlined in green. And when I combine them, I'm going to get a squared. Next, I notice that b squared, let me use orange, and minus 2b squared are like terms. So after I combine them, it's going to be minus b squared. And finally, I notice that I have, let me use a different color here, minus 2ab and plus ab. So once I've solved that, it's going to be minus ab. Whoops. I want to rewrite this so that my minus AB term is in the middle. So that'll be A squared minus AB minus B squared. Let me write that down in this blank here. A squared minus AB minus B squared. All right, moving on to question 3. I'm going to apply the same principles here since, again, I have to remove some parentheses in order to simplify. Now, first, for my first parentheses, I'm going to apply the distributive law. So I'm going to multiply 2 into each of these terms here. So that's going to be 2a squared plus 6ab AB and minus 4b squared. And right here again, I have a minus sign in front of my parentheses. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the sign of each and every single term. So that's going to be minus 2a squared. It's going to be minus 5ab, and it's going to be plus 4b squared. Now let me rewrite this last part here. Plus 4b squared. Okay, now let's combine some like terms here. I notice that 2a squared and minus 2a squared are like terms. And since it's the same value subtracted by itself, I'm just going to cross them out. Next, I notice I have 6ab minus 5ab. Well, that's just going to be ab. Next, I notice I have minus 4b squared and plus 4b squared. Again, I'm subtracting the same value by itself. So I'm just going to cross them out. At the end, I'm just going to be left with AB. And that's my answer. Okay, I'm moving on to question 4 here, where I have to simplify negative 5 times 2a squared minus 4a. I'm going to apply the distributive law to help me out here. All right. So for question 4, first I'm going to do negative 5 times 2a squared. Well, that's going to be negative 10a squared. Then I have negative 5 times minus 4a. That's going to give me a plus or a positive 20a. And as you can see, there's nothing more I can do right here. So my final answer is going to be, let's see, option D. Negative 10a squared plus 20a. Okay, I'm going to move on to question 5 now. So for question 9, I'm given the value of x. X is equal to 2. And I want to find a value of x squared minus 5x minus 6. Here, I'm going to substitute every instance of x I see with 2. It's going to look a little something like this. So it's going to be 2 squared minus 5x is going to be 5 times 2, and then minus 6. Okay, 2 squared is 4, right? 5 times 2, that's 10. And then minus 6. Here, I should get negative 12. So let me clear my screen, and I'm going to move on to question 6. Here we are. All right. So for question 6, now I'm given the value of x, and it's 4. And I want to find the value of 1/2 x squared plus 3x minus 5. Again, I'm replacing every instance of x I see with 4. So that'll be 1/2 times, well, 4 squared plus. Let me label my question. This is question 6. 3 times 4 and minus 5. Okay, well, 4 squared, that's 16, right? And half of that is 8. 3 times 4 is 12. And then I'm subtracting 5 right here. Okay, so after I work on the addition and the subtraction right here, my answer is going to be 15. Now, let me write my solution for question 7. Well, right here. Okay, so now the value of a is -1, and I'm trying to find a value of 3a cubed plus 6a minus 1. So here I have 3 times -1 cubed plus 6 times -1 and minus 1. Now remember, I have a negative base here, and it's to a odd power. That means I'm going to get a negative number at the end. Here, in fact, I'm going to get -1. So what I end up with is 3 times -1. Now, 6 times -1, that's going to be -6. Don't forget, I still have the minus 1 at the end. So 3 times -1, that's -3. And well, when I add a negative number, I'm simply subtracting by that number. Whoops. You can see I have -3, -6, and -1. That's going to be equal to -10. My answer is A. Moving on to question 8 here. Now I'm given that x is equal to 1/3, y is equal to 2. And I'm trying to find a value of y times x plus y. Oh, excuse me, this is 9 times x plus y minus 1. Let's figure it out. First, let me replace x with 1/3. And let me replace y with 2. Don't forget I'm subtracting 1 at the end. Okay, here I like to cross simplify. So 9 and 3, well, essentially this is 9 divided by 3. So I get a 3. And I end up with 3 plus 2 minus 1, which is 4. So my answer here is C. All right. Question 9 now. So I'm given that a equals to 5 and b equals to 2. And I'm trying to find a value of 3a minus 4b minus 2 times a minus 3b. Of course, I can't just substitute in the values and then solve by multiplying and subtracting. But I think that this would be a lot easier if I first simplified my expression with the variables inside it and then substituted the values of a and b. Okay, so here goes. For question 9, I'm going to write my solution down here. So first, let me simplify and remove the parentheses. It'll be 3a minus 4b. And here, I'd be subtracting 2 times a, 2 times minus 3b. A simpler way to do this would be to treat minus 2 as what I'm multiplying here. So I'm multiplying minus 2 or -2 to a and 2 minus 3b. Let me start with minus 2 times a. That's minus 2a. And then minus 2 times minus 3b, it's going to be plus 6b. Okay. Now that I have this right here, let's combine the like terms. 3a and minus 2a. That's going to give me a. Right here and here. Next, minus 4b and plus 6b. That's going to give me 2b plus 2b. Now, you can see I have a way simpler expression that I can substitute my values into. So let's replace a with 5. And let's replace b with 2. So this is 2 times 2. What I have now is 5 plus 2 times 2, that's 4. So 5 plus 4 is 9. My answer for question 9 is 9. All right, moving on to question 10 here. So one thing I notice is that in question 10, I'm given the value of n is equal to 1. But when I read the equation here, 4m plus 3n minus 2 times 2m plus n, I notice that I not only have the variable n, I also have the variable m. No worries, let's just try to solve it and see what we can get. So here first, of course, since I have a pretty complicated expression, I'm going to try to simplify it first. So I have 4m plus 3n, and again, I'm going to multiply that minus 2 into 2m and into n. All right, so here I would have minus 4m and minus 2n. Now, a really cool thing happens when we simplify the expression first. And that is that we notice that 4m and minus 4m cancel out because I'm subtracting a value by itself. What I'm left with is 3n minus 2n, which is n. And now, after I substitute a value of n in there, you'll notice that my answer is just 1. And that's the answer for question 10. So, that's all for today. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye now.